year was this? Oh yeah, it was mine. Seems like something I would do. Hi guys, it's Leanne, and as you can tell by the fact that I am not in my traditional seated position, today we are in for a challenge. A test, if you will, of my own bookcase knowledge, of my knowledge of Emma's bookcases, and thus probably of my sanity. You see, 2020 Leanne thought she had this bright idea. My lovely friend Emma, from Drinking by My Shelf, inspires me continually with her capacity to torture herself with challenges that she has set for herself. Quite often, she stays awake for 24 whole hours to read a series of books that she is not entirely sure that she will like. She and her questionably lovely friend, Emma Tobias. Emma told me to say that, it was her fault. They like to swap both a book and a movie and a song that they love and hate and make the other people experience them in their fullness. So I thought surely there is a challenge that I can set for both of us that will have us neither tearing out our hair nor wanting to kill the other by the end of it. And then I came up with this, which choices were made. Choices were made. And Emma, because she is insane on a regular basis, agreed to them. Both of us have asked our patrons for a list of random scavenger hunt prompts. I have printed mine out old school specifically so that I didn't cheat, because I would have. First of all, we are going to go to our red shelves and we are going to scavenger hunt through them for a book that we have read that we are going to force the other person to read. Luckily, I don't think either of us keep books that we don't like, so that should be at least a semi-win. Next up, we are going to go to our to be read shelves, or in my case, my to be read pile and what's mixed in on my bookcases, because I'm a monster who doesn't keep them separately. We're going to scavenger hunt through it and we're going to pick a book that neither of us has read that we are going to read together. So in case you're confused, because I know that we are both of us going to end up with one book from our own TBR that we are going to read together, and then we are going to end up with another book from the other person's TBR that we are going to read together. So that will be 3 books in total. Are we mad? Probably. I'm mad. Emma agreed to this. It's all my fault. I also don't really know how I ended up on the floor for the explanation part of this, but let's get up again and go through our bookshelf, shall we? Yes. Now, one thing that we did agree was that we were not going to pick genres that the other person completely never read, ever, never picked up. That means that all of the books on this side of my bookcase from here on out are banned, because they're all fantasy books and Emma doesn't do fantasy books. And it also means that a good portion of the books from here across are also banned, because Emma doesn't tend to pick up very much non-fiction. And I should point out, just as an added level of difficulty, just like a bonus level for me, I'm currently in the middle of ripping my shelves apart and rearranging my entire collection, so I have no idea where anything is. And my literary fiction and classics and modern classics and some of my contemporary live downstairs in my living room. So I'm going to have to do that from memory. So this is going great so far. Righty-ho, let's begin with the book that I have read that Emma is going to read. Emily wants an enemies to lovers trope that is written well. Oh, I know. I'm going to go with one that I've just read. This is Solitaire by Alice Oseman. It is a YA contemporary which broke my entire heart and definitely has an enemies to lover trope in it. Although in fairness, I think that everybody in it is Tori's enemy at the start. But yes, so okay, and we're starting here. Sarah wants a book where you want to punch a character in the face if you could. That's easy. For that, I'm going to pick Anything You Do Say by Gillian McAllister. I know that Emma absolutely loves this book and I absolutely hate it. I think that the main character is completely insufferable and I don't know why I sat through 388 pages of her whining. Okay, Steph wants a book with a pink cover. That'll be our second book with a pink cover. Find a book that I have read with a pink cover. A book that I have read with a pink cover. I must have one of those somewhere. Shit, do I not have one of those somewhere? Oh, no, I know. Oh, you're gonna make me upset. The apple cart, I'm gonna have to, the things I do for you people. I have one. I have Matilda by Roald Dahl in a very attractive box set, I must say. I do very much like these covers, even though they are not the very plain, nostalgic covers of my youth. On the back of this one, it says, "We saw Miss Trunchbull grab a girl by the pigtails and throw her over the playground fence," which is exactly what I wanted to do with the protagonist in Anything You Do Say. Okay, next up, Roxy wanted a book with an amazing first line. That's interesting to me because I don't tend to remember first lines, so this could take an awful lot of rummaging. We have a winner, guys. This is The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. It is the first book in the Flavia de Luce mystery series, which is absolutely delightful. And it begins, it was as black in the closet as old blood. Honestly, lock me in a closet with Flavia any day, she's a genius, will be out in seconds. Okay, next up Jean wants a book with only words on the cover, it can't have any pictures. So essentially my least favourite covers of all time. I don't know if I have any books like that. Shit, what if I don't own any books like that? That means I have to revert to the last choice. I don't think Emma would hate Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, but I don't think out of all of my read books it would necessarily be the one that I gave her. Oh, wait, I don't know if this one's got a picture. Yes! I'm so counting this one. This is Burnt Paper Sky by Gilly Macmillan, which goes by another name in the States. I'll put it up here, I can't remember what it is. And this may be the only missing child narrative that I have ever liked in my entire life. Okay, so Dawn wants me to touch a book with my eyes closed. I know Emma has done this on her TBR cart, so she's probably going to be understanding the level of worry that I have right now. To play it safe, I'm going to say here, because this is my thrillers and mystery shelves, and I think that any book I pick off here is at least a potential for Emma. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's my ivy. I don't want to dent that. Where are the shelves? Okay, there are the shelves. Oh, I want to... my ivy, I want to protect my plant. Okay, I have a book. What have I got? Oh! Oh, bitch, I think we have a winner. This just goes to show you should always trust your plants to lead the way. This is The Good Daughter by Karin Slaughter. Now, I have just checked Emma's Goodreads and I do not see any Karin Slaughter books on either her to-be-read shelf or her read shelf, which if you love thrillers feels to me like a gross oversight. We'll come back to gross in a minute. This book is about so many things, but at its heart it is about a pair of sisters called Charlie and Samantha. So 28 years ago, their own life was torn apart completely by tragedy, and now all these years later Charlie has followed in her father's footsteps. She is a lawyer. She's moved to the big city away from their grungy little town where her father does work as a lawyer for people who really can't afford it, and in her town who also have occasionally questionable moral character. Then one day a terrible tragedy strikes and Charlie has to return to her hometown, both for her family and also to try a case. This is an amazing book. Karin Slaughter writes the best familial relationships ever, and I think Emma's really going to like the fact that it's about two sisters who are very different from each other and don't start out with a great relationship but then have to explore a lot of their tangled past. I also think that she's really going to like the pacing of it. It's very page turning, it's very what the hell is going to happen. The only thing that I'm worried a little bit about is that there are a couple of graphic-ish scenes in this one. Karin Slaughter is known for having a little bit of gore, but The Good Daughter is nothing like Pretty Girls, which is something that I definitely think you need to prepare yourself for with another one of Karin Slaughter's books. This one is much less gory than any of her other thrillers, I think, so I think Emma is going to be fine. So this is the book from my read shelves, which Emma is going to have to read. Let's go and find something from my unread shelves, which we're both going to have to read. Okay, so here we are, back for round two. A book that I have not read, that both Emma and I must read. So, not as cocky now, are we? So Kendall wants a book featuring an island, but not Agatha Christie, because I know you'll just pull out and then there were none. Our patrons had no idea what their prompts were being used for, so can't pick that because I've read it, and I can't pick Shutter Island because I've read that too. So let's see what I haven't read. Woo! This is Small Island by Andrea Levy. It doesn't have an island on the cover, but it does have island in the title, so I'm going to take that. This was a very recent purchase. It was in my first book haul of 2021. I'm marginally sad that we didn't end up reading this one together, but never mind. Okay, so next up, Jane wanted a book that I purchased years ago. Shady Boots is what you are. This one's harder because I very recently had a good clear out of books that were just taking up space on my shelves that I wasn't interested in. So I don't have that many books that I purchased a really long time ago but I haven't read. Really hard Okay, I've got one. This is The Method by Shannon Kirk, and it is about a 16-year-old who's been kidnapped whilst pregnant, and they have to try and find a way out of this situation themselves. However, the tagline does say they thought she was the victim, but they are the ones in danger. So it suggests that this teenager is just as dangerous and wily as the people who kidnapped her. So this one's been on my shelf for a really long time. I don't know why. I wonder, when was it published? Yeah, it came out in like 2015, so it's been there for a bit. Next up, Amy wanted a book that was over 500 pages, and I can tell you right now, I'm not going to pick a book over 500 pages for us both to read, because The Good Daughter is a little bit on the chunky side on its own, and I want this challenge to be fun and manageable. So I think I'm going to go to the pile on my floor for a book that's over 500 pages, because there's a good chance that the new books that are on my floor that I haven't hauled yet have a book in them that is over 500 pages, but that I'm in no danger of inflicting on Emma. Here I am, let's look. Okay, I have got Middle Game by Seanan McGuire. This one is over 500 pages now. I'm not saying Emma wouldn't necessarily ever pick this one up, because this is technically speculative fiction, and she has picked things up like The Glass Hotel before, which has kind of got one foot in speculative fiction, but I definitely wouldn't pick it for her to read. However, there were a few juicy possibilities in the pile, so I might go there for my next pick. My next pick is from Ari, and they would like me to pick a book that has 2 words in the title, which actually seems harder than it looks. I have a lot of 1-word titles and then many word titles, but not a lot of 2-word titles, so let's see what I can find. 1 word, many words, many words. She's read that. She'll hate that. 1 word. Many words, many words. Told you this is going to be hard. Many words, 1 word. Think she'd hate that. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. So I have got The Furies by Katie Lowe. Now, the reason that I was so excited when I found this is because I think it is the perfect mix of Emma things. This has been described to me as Taylor Jenkins Reid meets Louise O'Neill meets Dark Academia. That heavily hints Emma to me, like heavily. I'm going to read you the blurb because I've kept myself quite ignorant about this one on purpose, so we'll find out together. It's 1997. Violet is a new student at Elm Hollow Academy and desperate to fit in. Quiet, artistic, unremarkable. When invited to an advanced study group by her alluring art teacher Annabelle, ooh, is this queer? She is at once terrified and delighted. There she meets Robin, Grace and Alex, charismatic outsiders who invite her into their clique. But once the study sessions at the school's history of 17th century witchcraft and magic become more than just theory, Violet must decide what she's prepared to do in order to stay popular. And maybe she'll solve the mystery of what happened to a former member of their group, the one who went missing. Okay, does seem to have a little bit about witches in it. I didn't realise that when I picked it off the pile. I'm going to tentatively encourage, gently encourage Emma to take up the challenge anyway. I'm really surprised that there's witches in it actually, because in none of the places that I've heard this described has anybody mentioned that to me. So I'm hoping that it's kind of light on the magic and heavy on the sinister, which is what Emma likes. She might kill me for both of these choices. But here we have it. We have The Good Daughter, we have The Furies. Emma, it's over to you. I'm sorry? Question mark.
Oh hey Leanne, here's my thoughts on your choices. Long story short, you're a bitch. I laughed so much when you were saying that you had checked my Goodreads read and to be read shelves for The Good Daughter, but you did not check my DNF shelf, where that bad boy firmly belongs for me. I have had a never read Karin Slaughter pact with myself ever since I tried reading The Good Daughter. That is the very one that I tried to read. Read the first chapter, was scarred for life. But for you, I'm gonna give this one another go. But I can't promise I won't DNF it again if I get too grossed out. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe you're making me break my Karin Slaughter pact. It's fine. It's a good thing. At least if I have read Karin Slaughter, I can truly belong to the thriller booktube community because she is a booktube darling. I just don't know why. Anyone whose surname is Slaughter, I don't know if that's her real name, in which case that's bad luck for her, but it shows that she comes from murderers, or She picked it as her last name, in which case I know what she's about. I know what her books are about and I don't want them. The other one though I am excited about. The Furies looks really fun. I can do witches. I think a little bit of gentle witchcraft in books is fun. I definitely love boarding school stories. I definitely love stuff with like Greek legends that it's got in there. So yeah, I think the Furies is going to be fun, especially if we're buddy reading it. I'm excited for that one. But that Karin Slaughter, I'm going to get you for this. I'm going to get you.
Now that we've had that lovely message from my former friend Emma, if you would like to find out what books Emma picked for me and my reaction to those books, you can head over to Emma's video, which will be live right now. The link is below. Emma and I are going to read these books together over the entirety of February, and at the end of the month we will bring you a reading vlog of torturous proportions. Well, I mean, it's not going to be torturous for you, it's going to be torturous for us. It was my idea, right? We did establish that at the start of this video. Okay. Wish me luck, guys, because I feel like I'm going to need it. Bye!